if you went on a date, for example, I don't like farmers markets. That's not something I do. Like hiking, okay, fine. But if Kimmy here's like, let's go hiking, I'm like, of course I love hiking. Right?
Right.
But if you just said up front, or any girl said up front, look, I know we're going on a long date, start at 5, we're going to hike, we're going to play tennis, we're going to have dinner, but you are getting laid. Then the whole time I'm playing tennis, I'm like, am I going to get laid? Why am I doing this? You know, if they could just give me a sign, even if it's not true, I could really enjoy the farmer's market and eat the relish and just love everything. But I don't want to put in all this effort in these dopey things if there isn't a hint of the upfront.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And if you just say it, oh, definitely. All right, then I'm enjoying it.
Welcome to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Here's your host, Marcus.
You're listening to another episode of Secrets of a Sugar Daddy, the #1 sugar dating podcast in the world, where we unveil the good, the bad, and the shocking stories. Got Kimmy over here, my co-host, with a big smile on her face. Kimmy, you missed court. You're supposed to be at court right now.
That's true. Well, allegedly.
Allegedly?
That's the word of the day.
I was only going
allegedly.
120 in Utah.
I was going very fast without allegedly a registration or car insurance.
Yeah.
Time to lawyer up.
I am my own lawyer.
But seriously, are they going to send a warrant for your arrest since you didn't show up for court? Like, it's literally supposed to be right now.
Well, it was actually supposed to be weeks ago, but I missed my first court date, and then
She's so responsible.
I really am. You know, I just live life on the edge, and it just works for me.
All right, we're going to get into more of that. I've also got my co-host, Lily, joining us today. Lily, how are you?
I'm great.
Lily has been full of fun information this week, and we're going to get into that. And it's always fun to have Kevin on the show. Welcome back, Kevin.
Thank you. I can't believe I'm back already.
Oh, my gosh. We have so much fun with Kevin, and we just had lunch with him, and I had to hush him a few times because we started getting into some crazy good talks and stories about sugar dating. And
The podcast was starting right there.
I said, you guys got to stop.
Stop talking.
I mean, what we get into all day, every day is pretty entertaining. But anyway, we all went to a really fun concert the other night.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was like a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And the whole gang went and saw The Weeknd.
Mm-hmm.
Lily, what'd you think?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It's been really concert week for us.
So Monday night, we went into another concert, like an 80s throwback. You missed this one, Kevin, but you would have liked it. It was John Waite, who sings I'm Missing You. And then Men at Work, one of my favorite 80s bands.
They're great.
Oh, my God. When they sang, Who Can It Be Now? I mean, that was it. I was almost done.
Reliving your youth.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
That's my ringtone.
Oh, is it?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's funny.
So, matter of fact, I better turn that off in case somebody calls me during the podcast. But I just think that's a perfect ringtone. And my ex, she would hear it 12 times a day, and she hated me for it because she couldn't get that song out of her head.
That's funny. Well, I've had The Weeknd in my head for 3 straight days.
Yeah.
And I don't really, I've heard his stuff. That's fine. But if you ask me what a Weeknd song was, I'm like, I don't know. But then when I heard them, I'm like, oh, I know all these songs.
Right.
And then I can't stop now.
Yeah.
Like, he's got the hookiest songs.
Yeah, they're great. Well, getting back to the concert on Monday night that we went to.
So you went to 2 in a row.
We went to 2 nights in a row of concerts, and then the closer for Monday night was Rick Springfield at 73 years old, shirtless when he did Jesse's Girl.
How did he look shirtless?
That man is still hot.
Unbelievable.
Really?
Yeah, so hot.
So somebody told me that
I think he sold his soul to
pretty
the devil.
sure he's drinking children's blood.
Oh, totally.
I mean, there's no way. I have never seen a 73-year-old man look like that.
And he was very spry.
He was rocking like he was a teenager.
Yeah.
I mean, jumping around. He's got the the tight jeans on with the skinny legs, and I mean, he looked rock and roll.
It's
annoying
unbelievable when someone at 73 looks better than I did at 23.
I know, absolutely. But you know, he's been married for like 36 years, I think, or 40 years.
That's what you said.
And you know what he said he did during COVID?
What?
Had a lot of sex with his wife.
He
I believe
did?
that.
Yeah. So he had to been like.
So he was shirtless.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Lord.
in the end.
Good for him.
And I'm telling you,
And he was cut. He was
cut.
Yeah.
I hope he's listening.
That would be fantastic.
So this is fun.
Huge fan now.
This
I'm
is a fun
absolutely
fact.
huge fan.
All right, fun fact.
When I was 17, several years back,
Lily's
Rick
52 now.
Springfield was my very first concert that I ever went to in my entire life.
Yeah.
And I got to see him again on Monday. That was awesome.
What was the difference in the demographic between Rick Springfield and company versus The Weeknd?
The Weeknd, most girls there, and you could attest
Yeah.
to this, were underage.
Yeah.
Oh my!
You better get
goodness.
glasses in that place.
Yeah. Kevin and I were definitely the elder
Yeah.
statesmen at that
We're
concert.
taking our kids to a concert.
Yeah.
Someone said, your mom threw popcorn at me.
Because Kimmy was throwing popcorn, and they
Oh,
thought.
it was not me.
No.
Lily was
oh.
throwing popcorn.
Yeah, Lily, yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, Lily.
Yeah.
So Kimmy went with us, and she looked absolutely stunning. She had a little bikini top with a see-through
Mesh.
throw on there. It
No, you
was-
were caught
Overlay.
in a fishnet. You look like
Yeah.
you were swimming. You got caught
Right,
in a net.
right.
Yeah.
But she did take a picture for Instagram. If you guys want to go see it, it's at Persian Smoochie.
No, it's Kimmy Day.
Oh, Kimmy Day.
Yeah, KIMMYDAEE.
But
Hit
by
me
the
up.
time this comes out, it's Kimmy at court.
But if you want to see what Kimmy Day
Kimmy locked up.
Good Lord.
looked like at that concert, go to that Instagram right now and you will see.
Yeah. How old are you?
Actually, I think that's one of the most stunning photos I've seen of you.
Aw, thank
D-
you.
d-
A
It
stranger
turned. Oh my God!
It
It
looked.
turned out
It was cool. Like the
Just with the
background was
background, yeah.
blue. Everything was really
yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
You had another friend with you too, which she was also super,
Yeah.
super nice. Yeah.
So we had a lot of fun at that concert. You know, as older sugar daddies, we still like to do stuff.
We like The Weeknd too.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
for everybody.
Yeah. Except I wanted to tell him to turn the music down a little bit. It was pretty loud, right?
Yeah.
You know, I go to a lot of concerts, so I'm not surprised by loud music, but that was
Yeah.
up there.
I have to say, I was listening to some different podcasts, and we're very different in the sense that you love. I enjoy going, but my native core is to not go, right? But you thrive at those concerts.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love live music. I love entertainment. And the funny thing is with Lily is she was trying to back out because she was still
yeah.
tired from the night before.
Yeah.
But you
I
know
was
what
trying
got her?
to get out of that.
FOMO.
Yeah,
Yeah.
FOMO, yeah.
Serious fear of missing out.
Yeah. She's
Gets
also
me every time.
very competitive. I mean, if we said we went and you didn't go, I guess that's FOMO, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Kevin and I were talking about.
I'm just adrift on an endless ocean of possibility.
So Kevin and I have been talking about profiles, whether they're real or fake.
Yeah.
Now, did you come across Kimmy's profile?
Yeah, this is the problem I have because my buddy that was on the last episode a few episodes ago.
Yeah,
Sean.
It's a couple episodes ago.
Sean, yeah, I have a formula that I've conclusively know that is 100% guaranteed that I can pick out the fake profiles.
Yeah.
And he's chasing, the white rhino. I call him. He's chasing the white rhino. And I'm like, that's not a real profile. It's not a real profile. But I give him respect that he's chasing it. But then in the car ride, you showed me your profile, Kimmy.
Mm-hmm.
And
What'd
I was
you
like,
think of
I've
it?
seen her, and I deemed her not real. And then I realized that I know her.
And that I am
And then
real.
now
Okay.
my whole formula blew apart.
So you thought her profile was fake because
When
of
I
her
s-
photos?
Yeah, they're too good.
They are really good.
They're really good. And the write-up was succinct, and it was cute, had emotion in it,
Wait, was this her new write-up, though? Because her new write-up, it's from the heart.
Yeah.
I like it. You want to read that?
You know what? I totally could. So
Yeah.
I went back and, as you know, a few episodes back, I talked about how I got back on seeking arrangements and how I'm kind of on, kind of off. Now I'm starting to go on more dates and actually enjoy it. But when I started my new profile, I decided I wasn't just going to do copy paste from some other girl's
Yeah,
profile.
all the
like-
same bullshit we all look at.
Yeah, exactly. So I wrote my own little thing. So let's start with my about me.
Okay.
I talked about where I'm located because I do travel a lot. So I just wanted to let people know because I have multiple locations. And I think that's important if you have multiple locations. Write a little synopsis of like where you spend most of your time because you don't want a ton of people from, if you spend your weekends, for example, in LA, you don't want a ton of people from LA always being like on a Wednesday night, hey, what are you doing?
I know, right?
It
Hey,
gets
you want to
annoying.
grab drinks tonight?
Yeah, like I'm not even there. So But I said, I'm young and accomplished, 2 degrees and a minor. I have a corporate job, but make most of my living through social media, which you guys should check it out. It's really hot.
Social media is AKA OnlyFans.
OnlyFans, yeah, you know. I get a little freaky on there.
Yeah.
And
I call it lonely glands.
I said, I'm super spiritual. I need only pure energy around me. I'm very submissive so long I am not pushed to. For example, a guy who lets me make a move is 100 times more attractive than the guy groping me on our first date. It's like a woman demanding money from you right away. It's just unattractive.
This is all in your profile.
Yeah.
This is so different than anything I've heard.
Not real. Not a real person.
Well, I don't know. Keep
But,
going.
Yeah. Keep going.
I talk about my interest, so I start with the boring stuff, writing, stocks, crypto, ask for recommendations, real estate, Airbnb, watching sunsets, the gym, shopping, of course. Then swimming, wake surfing, travel, talking anything business, dancing very poorly, which if you follow me on TikTok, you know I really do. It's
She is infamous for her bad dance.
Bad dancing. Yeah.
infamous for my bad dancing. Yeah.
But unapologetically so, and I love that for you.
I will never take shame to my bad dance moves.
That's my girl.
Expensive home decor, crying face, because I spent way too much money on crystals in Sedona last weekend.
Yes, you did. I saw some of those.
They are beautiful, but yeah, some nice home decor. Anyway, so for what I'm seeking, I said I'm looking for a good time. You know, you got to put that in there, get the guys excited, right? I'm always looking for new things to try and places to see. I have a professional career. I don't necessarily need to be on the site, but I do love this style of dating, spoiling and chivalry. What I want from our Asianship specifically, open-endedness. At least initially, I'm always open to possibilities, down to travel, open-minded, always communicate, and keep it lighthearted. And I do things in a list just because I like to keep it short, and I hate paragraphs. If you were like, I mean, as you can see, I have one paragraph in the beginning, but then it's all lists, right? Yeah. So then I have my bonus points at the very bottom, right? And these are funny. Be athletic or have a good surgeon. You know, I'm okay with those surgeon abs. Those are pretty cool. I'm not gonna, but I think attraction's very important, and some girls, they don't mind at all. I have a little bit of athleticism. I said, be my stylist. I love a cute new outfit. And then lastly, let's dress up and go to nice dinners. So that is my profile.
What do you think, Kevin?
Yeah, I read it before I knew her.
I don't know why you think that's so
fake.
involved.
It's so because it's so real, I think.
The fake ones are pretty obvious. I pulled up a couple of fake ones right here.
Let's read them.
So I just did a search for people that signed up today. Their count is less than 24 hours old.
Which is a good sign that it's fake, right?
Yeah. I mean, well, that's where the fake profiles hang out.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't mean... Kevin, have you ever met somebody that created their profile that day? I have.
No, I have not.
Yeah, I've met.
Same day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Same day or within 24 hours, like the next morning or
How
next
did it
day.
go?
Fantastic. And they had a good reason why. So I don't discount everybody with a brand new photo because you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
But the majority of brand new profiles, I think over 50% can be fake.
Yeah. So I'm the guy, like, I don't, like, if Windows comes out with a new version, I don't install the new Windows. I wait like 6 months and then I install it. So I figure if they're on there for more than 6 months, that's going to weed out a lot of the hassle.
So I just went through people that started their account today. Now I'm going to show you some pictures, Kevin, of this one right here.
All
now
right.
there's
let me go through my new formula. No, this is fake.
Yeah. Now, why are you saying this?
Because there's nothing in Arizona. These are all.
They're all beautiful photos.
This girl is a fucking Instagram model. She is sexy.
Yeah. Now, Kimmy, read the profile.
Be funny if it was Kimmy's words. She copied Kimmy's words.
Yeah.
Oh, there's like one sentence.
Yeah.
She didn't even fill out what she's seeking.
No.
Her about me is, I love my space. I am big on emotional intelligence, and I don't want no misogynistic sugar daddy.
I don't want no. I don't want no.
I don't want.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, very good.
No.
Bad English.
Mick Jagger's account.
And that's it.
Yeah, first of all, if you write your profile saying nag, 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 I don't like this and I don't like that, I skip.
Yeah.
Don't do this and don't do that. That's
that's
a terrible start.
Why, if you must, that is why I put an example in within a little bit of an analogy where they could understand, right? So for example, like I do TikTok lives every day. Someone asked me what my ideal man is like, and I told them, like, I think my biggest thing is sex is very important in any relationship. Not any, but you know, any like sugaring relationship, most of the time sex is on the table and it's very important. And so if you feel like you're being pushed or very much so persuaded to have sex and you're being groped or touched, first date, it can be really unattractive. I mean, it really depends on the type of girl, but personally, I don't like it. Some guys are like, well, you're never going to find a guy. Yeah. So when I was talking on TikTok Live, all these guys who are talking to me are like, your standards are too high. You're never going to find a guy who's not going to do that. How are you going to expect them to not try to have sex with you? That's why I put an analogy in there. Like, okay, well, I mean, in this type of situation, how would you feel if right away if you sit down, the first thing you're talking about is like, okay, well, how much am I making right now? Like, how much are you going to pay me?
It would be equally as annoying.
It's just annoying and weird.
This leads into that conversation. This is like a larger, I can only speak to men, right? So I speak to men. If you went on a date, for example, I don't like farmers markets. That's not something I do. Like hiking, okay, fine. But if Kimmy here's like, let's go hiking, I'm like, of course I love hiking. Right? Right. But if you just said up front, or any girl said up front, look, I know we're going on a long date, start at 5, we're going to hike, we're going to play tennis, we're going to have dinner, but you are getting laid. Then the whole time I'm playing tennis, I'm like, am I going to get laid? Why am I doing this? You know, if they could just give me a sign, even if it's not true, I could really enjoy the farmer's market and eat the relish and just love everything. But I don't want to put in all this effort in these dopey things if there isn't a hint of the upfront.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And if you just say it, oh, definitely. All right, then I'm enjoying it.
Okay, so on the female side, there's this profile that keeps coming through and messaging me.
Yeah.
Over and over and over
again.
again.
And you suspect it's fake?
100% it's fake.
Okay.
The name is always established member. And it's always a recreated profile with a different age. And they've always just started it that day or a couple days ago. And they'll just message me something random. What's
the female indicators for a fake?
Well, for this one, for example, they wrote nothing on their profile. Within 2 days, one day they're 47, same profile name. The next time they're 49. Both times they're from Scottsdale. Neither time do they write anything except great pictures or a request to view your private photos or looking good.
So in that case,
real obvious.
The red flag would be the same account that keeps changing all the time.
Well, but I mean, there's a lot of different accounts that are either freshly created or have little to no description of what they're seeking or.
Well, I think if you can't write in either of those two boxes, sometimes you just say refer to the first. I think that if the person can't come up with at least 20 words, that dinner conversation is going to be so bad because it's so unimaginative. If you can't even, this is the selling point or to get to know you, the whole thing. And if you can't figure it out what to write.
Well, they're just lazy. Do they really want to date? You wouldn't be that lazy if you really want to date.
Well, that feeds into, I think, the ultimate objective on the female side is minimum work, maximum output. I want to do the least amount of work and get the most amount of everything. And then that leads to severe laziness. Yeah. But if you can't even write words, what's next? You're sinking in a ship and you can't even write SOS because you're too lazy. I mean, laziness is one of my pet peeves. I'm not a lazy person. Yeah.
Yeah, so here's another one on the women's. A lady posted, okay, so I'm going to show Kevin this picture. It's just a side profile of a very beautiful woman. Of course, there's no local scenery.
Okay.
And she writes, I like a man who is very ambitious and driven and who has a good heart and makes me feel safe. Real or fake?
That's it?
Yeah, that's
not real.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's a haiku.
It's so
got it right off the internet.
Have you ever come across like a really stunning profile and then they have like their location is Queen Creek or Camp Verde?
Yeah.
Now, for you, those of you that are not in town, like a location that would be acceptable is Scottsdale or Gilbert or Chandler or Phoenix or something like that. But when you get on the fringes of town, like where you have to drive an hour just to go see them because they're on the outskirts of town, that's not where
So that's what my buddy's doing. He's like,
out.
can you believe that the entire world has overlooked this gorgeous LA supermodel living out 80 miles outside of Phoenix in the desert? Mining town. Like, it's not happening. Well, actually, look.
I'm from
we do have
small town, rural Arizona. We're not getting more specific than that.
Yeah.
But
How many supermodels are in your small town Arizona?
just me.
Right.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
No, there are some stunning women. You have no idea.
Supermodel, not just a model.
Yeah.
Supermodel.
I mean, define supermodel. Nobody can
Kevin,
see you just gesturing
I just start
at
pointing
Kimmy.
over at
Nobody
Kevin's
can see that.
pointing at Kimmy, and it doesn't make for good podcast
I
material.
know.
when he's
I got to stop pointing. Yeah. I was waiting for someone to fill in.
Right. So, and then how about the ones that are like, oh, well, I think we should have online relationship before we meet.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The other one that I love is, if I mentioned this before, I apologize, but they'll say, hey, do you want to buy some pictures?
Oh, I get that all the
So
time.
the first answer is, I go, porn is free, right? And then sometimes if I'm going the other direction, I'll say, yeah, I would love to buy some pictures. And they say, okay, great. How much are they? And they'll say, it's $100 for this many. And then I send them a picture of a $100 bill.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, you talked about this on Sean's podcast.
Yeah, and they're like, what am I going to do with that? I'm like, the same thing. But I think those are those are pedestrian routes. That's like everyone came up with their same idea of what to do. And it's just, to me, what bothers me, it's just unoriginal. But there are some approaches that are much more original. Like Sean, we were overseas in Germany. Germany has these like man's spa sauna clubs. They're called FKKs.
FKK.
They're great. They're super great.
What does FKK stand for?
German words are like drawn out.
Oh,
it means the house that a man can relax and enjoy himself with women.
Okay.
But they're usually out in the countryside, and they're retreats, and they have pools. And one time he was playing like volleyball naked with the Japanese police chief, like crazy stuff. Just type it in the internet, FKK, you'll see it. So, but an FKK is like a 3-level. There's only one in Berlin, and there's multiple in Frankfurt. Mm-hmm. But you just walk in there, and there's just no fewer than 50. Literally like supermodel looking girls. They're either clothed or not clothed, wearing shoes, and you sit in the bar and hang out and have some drinks, and then they have quote unquote go to the room. You can go to the room. So the first time I ever went, this is terrible. I was in Berlin and I went downstairs and I didn't know what I'm doing, so I'm just kind of figuring out. But they'll give you these yellow robes, like canary colored robes. So I was sitting down, there was a theater, and it had couches at different levels, so you sort of like staggered. And they have porn on. And so I just sat down, and this girl walks down. She looks like Kimmy almost. And she turns the corner, and she's like, do you like this movie? I'm like, yeah, this is a great movie. And she goes, this movie would be better if I was sucking your dick, I think.
Really?
And I was like,
oh, wow.
Yes, it would.
I think you're correct.
And then right there, boom, done in no time. But the funny thing is they have a price structure that's posted on the wall when you walk in. These places are not dumpy, by the way. They're really well done. And it's like sex is 60 euros, which is nothing really. But they have on the list, if you want to come in her mouth, it's 40 more euros, right? So then she says, do you want to come in my mouth? That's in the beginning. I was like, no. And she goes, we'll talk later. And then right before I come, she's like, do you want to come in my mouth? I'm like, absolutely, I do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great salesperson. And then you go clean up. Everybody has a locker. You go to your locker, you take out your money, you give her the money, you put it back in, then you go lay by the pool for an hour. Mm-hmm. It's great. That place is so good.
Where was this?
In Germany. There's tons of them in Germany.
Now, is legal there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
and you meet great people. Like the guys, they're so relaxed.
Yeah.
You'll see they have a room that only men are allowed to go into. They're all different, but the women can't go in this room, so you get just to relax. Mm-hmm. And you see men like lions on the prairie. You've never seen men more relaxed in an FKK in that room. They've just had sex a couple times, and now they're on a different time zone because they're traveling. And they're just sleeping on these lounge chairs they give you. And highly recommended.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. I had no idea.
It's way better than TJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're listening to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy.
Hey, thanks for listening so far, and we've got a lot of good stuff still ahead. But I need to take just a minute. I have a friend, Maria Scaptura. She is a PhD student at Virginia Tech, and she's doing some research on sugar dating. and she needs to talk to some sugar daddies and some sugar babies, but mainly we are seeking input from sugar daddies, and she wants to hear your experiences and your pathway into this. Hey, now it's completely anonymous, it's unrecorded, and it's a lot of fun. I did it, and you will really help us out if you give your thoughts and opinions on sugar dating. So go to the website, secretsofasugardaddy.com. Click on the ad. There's a quick survey. Or you can email her at scaptura@vt.edu. And that's spelled SCAPTURA @vt.edu. All right, back to the show.
You're listening to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Have a comment or want to be on the show? Okay. Find us at secretsofasugardaddy.com. Now back to the show with your host, Marcus.
So you haven't been here since Kimmy got back from Tijuana. Yeah, she was supposed to go
How'd
get
it
all
go?
this
Yeah.
work done. We talked about it on the last episode, but
Basically, I had a revelation that there's just too many things that I am picky about, I don't like about myself. I need to just find inner peace and love. And so then I ended up not getting a BBL. This isn't worth my life, possibly. And the girls who were in there, first of all, they were not recovering well. Then the second thing was some of them, like one of the girls I was rooming with, I was there for one night and the next morning was my surgery. She was telling me that the facility had a lot of deaths.
Oh
Like,
my God.
Yeah, she
Kimmy's
was
like, "Fuck this, I'm out of
Oh
here."
my
I was
God.
like, yeah, you know what? I'm like, and they were upping the price on me too.
Oh, all these are good signs, though.
All
yeah.
of these were great signs. And then I was like, this is, I'm one to follow through, but recently I've been listening to my gut a little more.
Yeah.
And I just realized it just wasn't for me. And so then I left. And then lo and behold, a few days later, I just decided to change everything about my life. And I've been feeling way better since.
Now, you went on a little retreat to Sedona, Arizona.
Yes, it was great. I went camping by myself.
So you rented a
Oh
tent.
my God.
I rented a tent.
How was that?
Oh my gosh, it was crazy. If you were to just see me out in public, you would never think I'm a camper, and nor am I in my heart and soul. However, I did want to become more in tune with nature. I needed a social media break, so put my phone on airplane mode. I rented a tent. I just went and found a camping spot. I didn't reserve anything. I didn't plan anything out. Seriously, right before sunset, found just a spot to camp up at, and then I spent the night there.
How'd you sleep?
I can sleep anywhere
That's pretty
at
bold.
any
though.
time.
Yeah.
I slept great, although I did wake up at 1 a.m. to like some crazy sounds.
Like some coyotes howling, or
Oh my gosh. I kept hearing animals, and then when I woke up, I was hearing like a ton of wind, but none of it was hitting my tent, which was so weird. So it was like just heavy wind sounds, like I was in a tornado, very strong wind sounds, but my tent was just not even moving, which I
So,
thought was crazy.
for you guys that are listening, you want to Google Sedona, Arizona. It's kind of a spiritual, energetic, red rocks, a lot of, they say a vortex.
Yeah, it's a vortex.
Yeah.
Vortex feeling is there. Did you feel an energy when you were in
Oh.
Sedona?
I was a completely different Kimmy.
Really?
Oh, completely. I did not, you know me. I mean, come on. We're on this podcast. I'm over here taking selfies. I did not have my phone for
I know.
24 hours.
Like you were just off social media. I noticed that.
I was MIA for 24 hours. I walked around and bought thousands of dollars worth of crystals.
You did.
Oh, yeah.
And I was happy to do it. The whole time I was just big smile on my face walking around. I went on this meditation hike with some shaman guy I found on Airbnb Experiences, and that was cool. I shed a few tears and I came to some realizations. He read me like a book. He was like, I can feel that you're longing for someone and your heart is aching and all this stuff, which I never said a single word to this guy. I mean,
How does he do it? He's
He just-
so in touch with you.
yeah, I was like, because I don't have any anger or real sadness, but he didn't even, if it was one thing, he was like, oh, you're kind of feeling sad. I would be like, yeah, I guess. But he really pinpointed exactly what I was trying to get over. And after we had our meditation session, I felt so present and in the moment and happy. Like was not going through anything whatsoever. So there was some.
So how
some
much?
spell cast.
How much was this experience on Airbnb? Just curious, like the cost.
It was $150.
Okay, so you paid $150.
Yeah.
But you rented the tent the night before.
Yeah, that was like a total of $100 for
Okay.
the equipment.
And then you met him the next morning?
Yeah, I met him the next morning, and we hiked up this rock off a trail that wasn't even real. Like, he literally had found this just wandering. I was like, how did you find this? He was like, just wandering. I'm like, you look like you would wander.
Now, were you the only person with him?
There was another guy, and
Okay.
he was probably a little older than me. I think he was probably 27 or 28.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's PPM.
You
You didn't want long term where you show up once a week.
It
and
was just
sit
a
down.
per meet. It's just a per meet
You're such
deal.
a tramp.
Yeah.
Such a using
I know.
tramp.
It is what it is.
Well, that's cool. And then you came back with a whole new attitude.
Yeah, I felt wonderful when I came back. So good. And I think that it's not one of those things where it's like a life-changing experience. You're not going to just take shrooms once and then like wake up and be like, whoa, I feel completely different. It's not like that for me. I mean, I didn't do any drugs while I was there, but respect to you if you do.
Your drug was the absence of your phone.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Did you have withdrawal symptoms?
I mean, I watched the sunset and cried.
Really?
Yeah, sober the whole time. Can you
That's
believe
amazing.
it? I had a lot of sober tears. And honestly, like even last night, I mean, I met with this dentist guy here from off of Seeking, and we were laying in bed about to, get going, right? And he was like,
Oral.
he was like, we're both sober. And he's like, I don't remember the last time I hooked up with somebody like fully sober. I was like, what? And then I realized, yeah, that's kind of like true.
So is sober sex better than drunk sex?
Absolutely not.
Well,
Oh, it's not for you?
I heard a comment on the way over here that there's two versions of the woman. The horniness goes up with drinking. That's what I heard. And then for guys, we're just getting tired. We're like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's the female side there?
It depends who it is. Okay. If it's, I have to be attracted to you to really want to like get to be that horny when I'm drinking.
Okay.
It's not like it's going to change a situation. If anything, my boundaries are going to be and my ability to say no or be like, maybe we should wait. Because there are girls, if a girl wants to wait with you, it doesn't necessarily mean she just doesn't want to have sex with you. It might mean that she may like you a lot or something, right? Mm-hmm. And she just wants to take things slow, or it could be a spiritual reason too. For me, I mean, I tried to wait with this dentist guy, but anyways, so if I was drinking, it would have happened right away. I mean, let
me ask you this. In your day-to-day going about town business, you have a little meter. It's called your horny meter. What number is that at? 0 to 10?
When I'm drunk?
Just, no. Just right now. Just around town.
Right now, I'm
Yeah,
probably like a 2.
Okay, then you start pouring some booze in.
I would
after the
probably
first
be a
drink,
good
what does the
7.
What does the meter go to after the first drink?
Maybe like a 4.
Okay, and then another drink.
If once I'm at 3 drinks, I'm at a 7.
Okay.
I'm just looking,
Yeah.
and then if I find someone that I'm like pretty attracted to, then at that point I'm at 11 and a half. I'm just like, okay,
It's on.
I think for guys it's opposite,
It's
right?
the opposite. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're at 10.
Yeah, we're
and
at
every
10
drink
all
takes
the time,
us down.
right?
So we got to meet
Yeah.
at 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lily, what's your walking around town meter number?
Lily's got a pretty
Yeah, it is probably
high drive.
Probably like 5.
5, and then drink 1, drink 2, 9.
12.
No,
Yeah.
we're on a 1 to 10 scale here.
No, that's the number of drinks.
Wow. No, that's not the number of drinks.
When does the alcohol starts penetrating that meter and it starts going
When
up?
do I peak?
Yeah, when do you peak?
Probably a couple drinks in.
All right, you get to
No,
what?
maybe 3.
3.
So is that universal? Like, is that?
That's what
it seems. I know.
My whole life is
this is not a scientific study,
yeah.
but we've got a sample size of 2.
Yeah.
right
Call
here.
in when you're there.
Yeah.
What about marijuana sex?
Well, I was actually about to get there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So for you, increase or decrease? Kevin, So what about that? Does it increase or decrease?
It's an increase, a significant increase.
So THC, marijuana.
It just takes you out of your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on.
Well, I'm a thinker. I'm constantly thinking about everything, right? Like even to the point where like girl gets naked and she's gorgeous, but she has a kooky tattoo. I'm like, why would she get that tattoo? Like, where did you get it? Who did it?
So you
I
stop
want to know all these things.
overthinking when you're
And then I get
stoned.
and then I just see the skin dimples and the little hairs are, like everything's perfect, and I get tunnel vision.
Wait, so which one's better for you? Stoned?
Weed sex is way better than.
Yeah.
What about you, Kimmy?
Drunk sex.
Drunk sex
is great.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, I'm already pretty confident, but the confidence it gives you.
Lily?
Oh gosh.
You've done both.
Yeah. I just really enjoy sex. It just doesn't matter. It just
Which one would you pick?
both of them are
absolutely
enjoyable.
marijuana sex.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't smoke it. I do edibles.
Yeah.
And it's really strange that how it intensifies.
Yeah.
I've noticed, so.
It's one of those things that I had no idea. But I also think
Yeah, I had no idea either until I experienced it a couple times.
Yeah, and then you're like, so this is what this is all about.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that once they put like real scientific people behind it, it's not just like from college, like stinky old weed. Once the scientist is there and there's money, that shit is fucking strong, right? Like that
So-
it's really perfected.
Yeah. So you're talking about the what we buy
Yeah,
at the dispensaries
like an edible
now
here.
is
It's- I don't know if I
lot
told you
more
the story,
potent.
but so a friend of mine, he owns a farm where they grow the plants.
okay.
And so I asked him, I said, okay, what would be the difference between what Jimi Hendrix used to smoke and what a Scottsdale housewife smokes?
Yeah. So Jimi Hendrix was what, 40 years ago, 50
Yeah,
years
musician
ago.
from the 60s
Yeah.
and 70s.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, that's okay. Yeah. So what you're getting today is about 7 to 10 times stronger than what Jimi Hendrix is smoking.
7 to 10
Yeah,
times.
that means that a Scottsdale housewife can be smoking a joint with Jimi Hendrix, and she'd take a huge hit and be fine, and then he'd pass out. And the housewife is like, what's wrong with your friend? Like, it's so strong. Like, housewives are smoking 7 times what Jimi Hendrix is smoking.
Right.
It's pretty impressive.
All right. Other hallucinogenic, I can't even say the word.
Hallucinogenic.
Yeah, like mushrooms.
Yeah, I've dabbled.
Where's that go? I actually haven't.
Don't have sex on mushrooms.
No? Why?
Because your imagination goes bonkers.
Yeah.
And then I'm not even going to tell you why, because if you did ever, the moment I say something, it'll get in your head and it'll disappear and you'll think that's gone. And then the moment you eat mushrooms, that
That thought.
idea will come right to the front.
Right.
It's more of a therapeutic thing, actually. I don't use them recreationally. I don't use them a lot, but to cleanse my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very good at just having a long conversation with yourself about calling all your bullshit out. It's not often, but you just lay there crying.
Now, didn't you have a recent experience where you kind of had some almost out of body experiences?
Yeah, I went to a retreat and they administer this. For anyone listening, this was overseas, so you literally disconnect from reality. They take you on this ritual, and then the psychedelic kicks in, and I'm literally gone. Like, I'm not on this planet. I've left my body. I'm in some other universal space. What's funny is you don't ever say these words before you ever eat a mushroom. Mm-hmm. People say frequencies and all that stuff doesn't mean a goddamn thing until you eat them, and then you come out. You're like, I'm on a frequency right now. You say all those words and they make sense. So I'm now in this parallel universe, or the real universe. I don't know what it is. It's kooky stories, and then I got stuck there. The other advice is don't get arrogant on mushrooms. The moment you get cocky, your mind will be like, listen, you're being cocky, I'm going to fuck you over. So it'll show you terrible visions so in this case, I was gone. My universe was exploding and reconstituting, exploding. It was the weirdest thing. And
you're fully conscious of these images or these visions you're having?
Yeah,
or?
I'm not even here. It's just all in your head. I mean, if you saw me physically, I'm just laying down on a bed.
Okay, so you're just laying down. You look like you're maybe in a coma or
totally
something.
Drooling.
Yeah. Okay.
And the world is exploding to a million pieces and back and back. And then I got arrogant and said, listen, no matter how many pieces the world explodes into, it'll always reconstitute, even if I go over here. And it's like, oh no, if you go over there, it won't reconstitute. And then it didn't, and I was stuck.
So you're almost having like a red blue pill
Yeah.
experience, like the Matrix or something.
100%.
Right?
You're physically here, but you are not mentally there. And I don't know what that is. And an interesting topic, I'm sure everybody tuned in to listen to this talk, right? But the first time I ever did them, and I'm not a religious person, I had a beam of light like shoot out of my head and just go communicate with some higher power thing. And basically I felt like I was having a conversation with whatever God is, right? I don't know what it is, but I'm communicating with it. And then after that, the next day I went and studied what was going on. And so there's a thing called the Bavarian Purity Act. It's about beer. And in like the 1600s, the Catholic Church was having a problem because you could make beer out of anything you wanted. And mushrooms was one of them. So people were then having their own communications with God outside the church. And they're like, no, you can't do that. So they wrote a law that said beer could only be made from barley, hops, and wheat or whatever. And that's how we have beer today. But like 400 years later, I'm having the same experience that they're talking about of just having this direct line, like a telephone to, again, it sounds ridiculous.
What did the higher power tell you?
Don't be an asshole is the first thing.
That
For
is
real?
great
Yeah.
advice from
Yeah.
that was divine intervention right
Yeah.
there.
Was that paraphrased or that's exactly?
No, that was it. But I also like, then I hate snakes. So then I got cocky and the snake showed up and I was like, oh boy. And then I had this epiphany. I was like, snakes aren't bad. Snakes just do bad things sometimes. I was like, get out of here, snake. When you're good, come back, right?
And
but
you're imagining all this.
Yeah, I'm just laying on my
Kimmy,
backyard.
have you ever done shrooms?
No, I have not, but I'm
Nor
sure
have I.
I'm sure I would think of some crazy fucking shit because when I'm sober, I say some
Yeah.
wild shit anyways.
If you have a
Yeah.
wild imagination,
Yeah, her mind is very active,
Yeah.
sober.
I don't think
Yeah.
the world would be safe if you or I tried shrooms.
oh yeah.
And what if we tried them at the same time?
Well, I mean, if I were to try them with anyone, I would hope that it would be with you.
Aw.
No, I've never done those either, but it's a natural grown. It's
Yeah.
not.
The crazy part is you just, I guess, like weed. They just grow naturally. You could technically pick one up if you were hiking and if you didn't
It's a
pick.
certain.
Yeah, it's a certain. I don't know a
type
lot
of-
about it, but they just grow out of the ground.
Yeah.
But it's a crazy thought that you can just eat one and all of a sudden
Yeah.
depart.
I mean, I've heard of people microdosing those.
Yeah.
Like eating little bits.
Yeah, so they put them in little capsules, so they give you dose amounts that.
I don't recommend just eating random mushrooms out of the wild.
no.
I
No,
heard
no,
they
no,
can be
yeah.
very poisonous.
That could be,
Yeah,
that
there's
can
some-
kill you.
You can, yeah.
So the experience that you had in Sedona is a very
Yeah.
mushroom-like experience where you strip away the world and the things you fucking hate are gone, and you forgive all the people that you hate, and they're just dragging you down, and you enjoy the sunlight for what it is. That's that experience. So microdosing is like, I think it's conceptually like unlocking your mind, because your mind is definitely unlocked, but not to the point that you're, hallucinating. You have that luxury of being able to free think without, while still staying on the planet. Yeah. But I haven't dabbled there, but there's something to this. And I think that I was telling someone the other day, I think that in the 60s, and again, this is not my department. Like this is not something I'd ever have done. I felt like the 60s was like a monster truck trying to get through the mud, and then with hallucinogenics and all this stuff, it just stopped, and it got pushed back. And that's sort of the boomer mentality of the government and what we have now. But once they die off, I know in D.C. you can buy a T-shirt for $100. This is, in Washington, D.C., you buy a T-shirt for $100 and they give you a bag of mushrooms. So they're decriminalized. So I think there's enough of it sort of like weed where once fresher blood gets in government, then this is going to explode. But I think this is a mental pioneer type thing, a mental excursion in your mind. There's a higher, see, I'm now talking like an idiot, like that higher
I
power
say
thing.
hugs, not drugs.
Okay, I like that.
It's medicine, not a drug. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I am a little bit afraid for the future of our country. I'm sure many people are. The reason why is because I think that there's a lot of lies, and I think that both parties kind of suck, but I'm not going to get too into it. All I'll say is that not everything is as it seems, and the person on TV may not actually be the person. He might be actually in the White House in diapers.
Oh yeah. See,
and
So
under critical condition.
Kimmy's buying into a lot
A
of
stunt
conspiracy
double.
theories
Yep.
lately.
Yeah, we got a stunt double.
We got
Yeah.
a stunt double.
in,
Yeah.
in the White House.
Well, I mean, he's not the one shaking hands with the air.
yeah.
The one shaking hands with the air is not doing well right now.
That was a Tupac hologram
Yeah.
that they had generated.
I have this weird belief, though, that in times of crisis, there's something that comes and saves you somehow, right? Like part of the movie of things.
Yeah.
But I think this opening your mind to psychedelic medicines and unlocking your brain might be the remedy of the future of people, because it allows you to communicate more openly and honestly and all that. That's a good sound.
I say self-medicate with puppies.
Puppies, yeah.
Okay.
That's the best medication.
Yeah, it's way better than
Isn't your line
plant-based.
Puppies, not guppies?
Puppies, not guppies.
Yeah, we don't want any guppies.
No, that has never been my slogan. Puppies, not guppies.
So I have a question for the sugar daddies. Have you guys heard of Leonardo DiCaprio's 25-year mark?
No.
You have not heard. All right.
Is this another conspiracy theory?
This is not a conspiracy theory. This is actually based off fact, because apparently Leonardo DiCaprio has a thing with the age 25, and none of his girlfriends, he has broken up with every single
I
girlfriend
just read that, actually.
at the age of 25. So there is actually a graph that someone has made, and
Wait, he doesn't date anyone over 25?
No.
Yeah, there was just an article out about this.
Yeah.
So it starts from 99 and goes all the way to present day. So as you can see, Leonardo every year is getting older, right? And these are the age of the girls. So when he was 24, it was 18. He has never gone over 25. That's his age limit. And as they hit 25, he's broken up with them.
Mm.
So what's your question?
Is there an age limit? I would hope not. I'm sure I would really hope not, because
No, I would hope not.
no, but I think
Lily
women in
at
general would
52
hope not.
and Kimmy at 21, just
Because
for reference.
It's not, sometimes people talk about how men, like, they get older, or so they can get more handsome and like they're more accomplished, they have more to teach you, they have more to offer as they get older. But then I've heard the opposite about women. And I just want to know where you guys stand and what you believe that society thinks.
And then what you think personally.
Yeah, and then personally.
So, Kevin, when you're searching profiles,
Yeah, I don't put an age in there.
You don't?
I just comb through. But I think that I don't know why I would limit myself.
I don't know why I would either.
Yeah.
If they look attractive and I like what they put, I don't really care what age they are.
Same. I think that if I'm looking at this in my own mind, I think that men, as you go through life, you're building your accomplishments, and women look to men for strength. And it's either financial strength or physical strength. But, back in the caveman days, it was physical strength. But money is also power and strength. But men look to women primarily for, mating, just the images of mating. And then as you get older, the signals are less there, right? So there's a declining line. And somewhere right in the middle is probably the sweet spot. But that's a difficult thing for women.
You know what's funny? The dentist last night was like, you just look so fertile. Like, I just want to fill you up.
Oh, my goodness.
He says that to all his customers, though, his clients. Did he put his hands in his mouth?
Terrible.
He put his hands in your mouth?
I'm so
No.
disappointed in the dentist right now. Dentists are notoriously odd and
Yeah.
Well,
awkward.
he's a self-proclaimed nerd.
Yeah.
Correct,
He is,
Kimmy?
Yeah. But like, he's if he was my dentist,
I think they have the
That'd be
highest suicide rate of all
I think
doctors.
he
Really?
is
Yeah.
your dentist.
Dentist, really? I might have heard that.
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never met one that did commit suicide. I'm just saying, I repeat things on the internet.
Must be true if you read
Yeah, well,
it on
I've
Google.
started, and I'm not a liar at heart, but I started seeing the benefits of lying, because I was in a conversation with some people and they loved the Cuomo guy from New York.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like politicians in general, but they loved him so much. I lied. I said, my brother works with him. He's a total asshole. And they were like, he is? I'm like, yeah, complete asshole. But that's not true. I just made that up. But because I had to just have an opposing force.
You just like stirring the pot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Let's talk about, have you heard the term D.E.P.O?
D.E.P.O in what?
D-E.P.O.
In what context?
Like a deposition.
Dollars expended per orgasm.
Ooh.
Yeah. My buddy and I, who you met, Sean, you got to get that D.E.P.O number. The whole goal of a guy is to get the D.E.P.O number as low as possible. And the girls is to get that as high as possible.
D.E.P.O.
Yeah.
That is a interesting acronym because I've had some really high D.E.P.O.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, wow, that was really expensive.
Yeah.
When you quantify it, you're
Right.
like, wow, that's,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just need to know, did you and Sean make that up? Or?
No, I stole it from a guy at a party.
That's funny.
Yeah. He had
So-
a crazy name. I forget.
So how did this subject come up? And
He was
what
an
kind of
older
numbers are
guy
we
and
looking at?
rambling. No, we didn't talk numbers, but your time is worth something. If you're traveling somewhere, if you're doing all these things, you add it all up, you're like, so I have this guy's into the civilian world, right? But he's like, we did all this. We went bottle service at the club. And at the end of the night, multiple nights, he's spending thousands of dollars, $5,000, $10,000 a weekend. And he's like, and I brought her home. I was like, for $10,000. I was like, you know what? I could put a whole thing together for you. But he has a different motivating factor. But so that's when I stole this guy's term D.E.P.O. And I was like, you're D.E.P.O. Because sometimes it's zero, right? So
I really love acronyms.
you do.
I'm not sure that's my favorite
All right,
one.
so give that acronym to me one more time. It means what?
Dollars expended per orgasm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you can amortize, right? If you can knock 3 or 4 out, right? But so this is what we do as a game. We're always moving formulas and trying to quantify things. Yeah.
Well, I know you guys had this off the wall formula on how much pay per meet.
Oh, that was
would
his, yeah.
be worth.
Distance from California.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also have another theory. That it's the hot to crazy girl.
Oh yes,
thing.
there's
Yeah,
a graph.
That's wrong.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, because the crazy is at 10 across the top.
Okay.
They're less hot, they're not less crazy. They're still at a 10. It's the put up with it level.
Oh,
And that line is like, if she's like, remember we were talking and she was
Yeah.
going on kooky conspiracy. I was like, I would never listen
Yeah,
to this.
Kimmy,
If she
he's
didn't-
pointing
Kimmy,
at.
yeah. If she wasn't this good looking, I would never listen to this story. Right?
I do have some crazy conspiracies now. I mean, I was not like this before. My brain got filled up with conspiracy cum,
Yeah.
and now I can't help but spread the seed.
Yeah.
but his point is, if you were like a 3 or a 4, he's
You're-
done.
But,
He's done
but
with
you're
it.
still as crazy as,
Yeah.
as a 10.
He's just going to tune you out.
I just
Yeah.
don't put up with it.
But since you're a 10,
Yeah.
he's like,
No, not I'm like, yeah, tell me more about that.
he's
Tell
actually
me about Kennedy.
interested.
Yeah,
in that.
100%. Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a.
I just think that is a wrong chart because it implies that they're less crazy as the number goes down, and that is not true.
Yeah.
They just are not allowed to be.
Yeah. Lily, do you know what chart he's referring to?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on it?
I don't know. I don't care.
Is there the
I
same
don't-
thing for a guy?
I don't care about being charted.
What about it like a? There should be for a
I
man
own my
age
crazy.
to success
I'm
ratio.
gonna admit it.
Yeah, there should be.
There should be.
Yeah.
I own my crazy.
I'm
I'm good with it.
I think a
embrace
lot
it.
of women put up with bullshit from men.
Yeah.
The more
True.
successful they
Good
are.
point. Yeah, that we should map that or
Yeah,
plot that against
absolutely.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if you're a total fucking douchebag and you have a jet, I'm sure even I would hang out for a little bit just to be like, well, I'm going on a jet.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not very tolerant.
You're not.
No, if you're a douchebag, I'm not going to tolerate you. I don't care how much money you have, nor what you drive.
No, this was a jet.
That don't impress me much. I'm
Don't
with Shania
impress
on this
me
one.
much. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. If someone has a private jet,
See?
I-
Now we're starting to think about it.
Well, maybe there's an age component.
Maybe there is.
I
because-
gotta plot when I get home. I'll plot this on Excel.
You know what? That's an interesting. I'd like to see that chart.
Yeah,
Because we've got a 30-year age difference here.
yeah. I'm
what
gonna
are
have
you
to-
guys talking about right now?
See, this is part of my personality is I'm trying to take this crazy world with humanity and quantify it somehow, like in some way that I have some predictability, but I can't. It's constantly changing all the time. But I
Why
like
do
it when
you think you need to do that? Why can't you just be?
yeah, it's very hard. Yeah, it's very hard. I want to address this Shania Twain song you're singing. She goes, that doesn't impress me much.
No, it's
Yeah.
that don't impress me much.
But isn't it like, so you're a rocket scientist or a surgeon or something?
yeah,
That doesn't, really?
yeah.
That doesn't impress her?
No.
Give me a break. I mean, what does the guy have to do?
Well,
I don't
Be
know.
warm at
it-
night?
I believe that it does.
It does. See,
Yes.
that's what I'm saying. So you're a neurosurgeon. Like, so what? You sing a song, right?
Yeah.
I can stay warm at night. That's easy. That's not impressive.
The looks. that
All right,
they're giving
everybody.
each
This is
other.
my last time here. It was good talking to you.
I don't know. I think me and Shania, we're just built different.
Yeah, she's like a ship with an engine on it.
What?
Had to get that zinger in there. Oh, she's really irritated.
All right.
No, I'm the girl that turned down $2.5 million.
She did. Lily literally turned down $2.5 million
Yeah.
and 5 years
No.
of living with a gentleman.
There's no amount of money that can make me tolerate you if you're douchey. It's
Mm-hmm.
not happening.
I made a fundamental mistake. Don't you edit these?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a bad for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
You edit these, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to look terrible.
All right. Well, with that, we have come to the end of the show. Always a pleasure to have Kevin in the house.
Thanks again.
Definitely going to have to bring him back. Makes for some interesting subjects.
Oh, boy.
I'm
Yeah.
freaking exhausted.
Yeah.
Why is this the most exhausting podcast I've ever done in my life?
Yeah.
Was it? I had a good
I'm
time.
gonna need a nap after this.
Well, thank you for putting up with Kevin. I appreciate that, Lily.
Wish me the best with evading court today.
Oh, yeah, Kimmy.
I'm
Are you
need
going to do court?
straight puppy therapy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. All right. We'd love to hear your crazy sugar dating stories. So go to our website at secretsofasugardaddy.com. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram. We post lots of fun things there, updates about the show at Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. And hope to see you next week. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to connect or even be on the show, we'd love to hear from you at secretsofasugardaddy.com.